Hello everybody and welcome back to another blended tutorial. In this episode, we're going to be taking this house we created last time, has just under 500 tries, and we're going to be UV unwrapping it and also texturing it. Sorry, there's a frog in my throat. Okie dokie. So, when texturing, when UV unwrapping for the game engine, one thing we want to keep in mind is to make everything as closely packed as possible. So that's one of the things we're going to try and do. But I'm going to start off going from material list. So I'm going to start off with the wood items. Now, for wood items, there's a couple things that I'm going to point out that are a little more specific, like this roof, or both of these roofs, I guess, are both going to be they're both going to have a the same texture, which is going to be kind of a shingle texture. So we can grab these and unwrap, and that's going to look all right. What we could do is, I think that's the back one. We can scale that y -1 and grab it on the y-axis, and just like that, because that's going to be the same vertices, and that's going to be pretty good. Okay, we're also going to grab some other stuff here. We're going to UV unwrap this chimney, so let's grab these. We can mark these seams. And these are going to be repeated. We can mark that as a seam. Mark that as a seam. So that it goes with it. Or no, we don't want to do that. Never mind. We do want to mark that as a seam. Okie dokie. So if we UV unwrap that, that should unwrap pretty nicely into sections we can overlap on each other, because it's going to be the same texture. Which is good. That's good. Now we can unwrap these guys. So we're going to mark seam. Mark seam. I'm actually going to mark the inside seam. Mark seam. Mark seam, because it's the thing you're going to see least. You're not going to be able to see that seam very well, especially with these inside ones here. I'm going to mark these seams. Mark seam. Mark seam. And if we UV unwrap one of these, oops, you can see it UV unwraps it pretty nicely. Sorry. And for anything that's protruding inside the building, that'll be a nice edge to start with, is the inside one. Marking seams. These don't have to be unwrapped because they don't have, or they don't have to be marked because they don't have a back side, but if we do unwrap that, you see it unwraps exactly like the other ones. And those are all going to be overlapping. It's not going to be a very clean process, but it's going to look good. We can grab those edges there and mark seam. That's going to be for all of those, and the reason why is because these are just going to overlap again. It's going to be a similar, it's going to be the same texture, sorry, and you can just do that. Speaking of textures, normally I would recommend that you get a membership for gametextures.com. It is a pretty decent price. I can't quite remember the price, but I do know that it's a fair price. You get access to, I think you get like 50 downloads a day, and it's monthly memberships, or you can do yearly or whatever. And if I just quickly show you their game textures here. Also, my search engine for gallstones is not because I have gallstones. I'm in bio and I had to do some research. Anyway, you can see if I just go to like any old textures, they do have a couple free textures. But let's say I go to natural and something like if I view all natural or even this hay bale texture. Actually, that's not the one I want. I want like a rock texture. Yeah, like this rock texture here. It has the like displacement or sorry diffuse. Which one's the diffuse? I think that's the diffuse. So it has a diffuse. It has what do you call it? Displace. Uh, it has normal maps, inverted and regular. Or no, this is the diffuse. I don't know what this one is. It has specularity. Basically, it has everything you need to make your textures in game look like this, which is quite impressive. And if I go to pricing, it is actually it's $19 a month or $15 a month for a student. It's 50 downloads per day for $20 or 15. I recommend just going for the freelancer. You get high resolution images. They're royalty free. It's a very good deal. But the textures I'm going to be using for this, because not everyone has access to GameTextures.com, I'm going to be using CGTextures.com, which is a free texture provider. They have really nice textures. Yeah. So if I unwrap this, you can see they're all, pretty much the same. Some things we want to be careful of is making sure these are all the same way up. So if we grab some of these faces here and hide them, that's on the other side. You can see, I believe this is going to be the top face. Yeah. Rotate negative 45. Rotate negative 45. So now this top face, if I hide it, should be the top. Now this one here, that's good. That we want to rotate negative 90. I hide that. That's the bottom, so let's actually rotate 180. And now, if I hide those, that should be the top. You just want to make sure it's all the top because the texture I'm going to be using is specific to direction, so it has to be the top orientated. Let's grab that. And that should be the last one, I think. Yeah. Okay, so everything's looking pretty good now. For those windows, what I am going to do is we can grab this, and as we get close, hold down Control. What I'm actually going to do is hold down Control, grab it, Control, and bring it up there. And now, if I do anything else with these, oh no, because they're on different, never mind, because they're all on different actual things, but we can get really down and close to this, and I'm just going to use one vertice as a reference point, and kind of snap it to that, hopefully. That should be pretty good. It's not, doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, the closer the better, obviously, but it doesn't have to be absolutely amazing, because there's little things we can do to fix that, to fix it. But you just want to try your best to make it as close as possible. And these ones here, you can see I only actually have to fix it on the x-axis, which makes my life just a little bit easier. Just one of those things that, saves me a little bit of trouble. And actually all these are very well spaced, because now these ones I only have to work on the y-axis, and it just makes my life a little bit easier. And really, a good UV unwrap is knowing where to put seams, and kind of luck as well is half of it, if I'm going to be honest. Because half the time when I'm UV unwrapping, I have no clue what I'm doing. But don't tell anybody I told you that. We have to make it look like I know what I'm doing. Alright, we can bring this back up here. And, oh, I thought that one was going to line up, but it didn't. Disappointed me. Alright, there we go. So now we've got that window texture, and if we press all, you can see we've got a couple of textures here, which are looking alright. Or a couple of things, sorry. We can bring that over there. And I'm going to grab all these guys right here. All the wood pieces. Control U on wrap. And some of the things we can do right off the bat is grab these ones and bring those over. There we go. And I'm going to put those right in the middle of that. It shouldn't be too big a deal. And we can grab that on the y-axis. And just like that. It'll look pretty nice. And this other one, I'm just going to grab it, make it have the same end, just so, for clarity's sake, just so it looks a little bit clearer when we actually do that. And for some reason, you can zoom in a lot further when you do it at not near the island border. Alright, there we go. So that's looking pretty good. Don't want to warp anything too much, but what's this one for? So that's the front one. I believe those are the two side ones. So we can go ahead and grab this on the y-axis and get it really close. There we go. And that should be good, and we can, of course, because these are technically the same thickness, we can get these really nice and close. Now, I'm trying not to adjust anything with scale just yet. I won't do that till later. And now, we can do these guys. We can scale x -1. Oh, they had it right the first time. I don't know if that's a bigger piece, or yes, it looks like it is. So we'll try and line up the bottom then. Scale x -1. And bring that one over as well. And depending on how much time this takes, we may actually just separate this to 2 tutorials, because I do have school again tomorrow. And I do have a bio test, so some rest would be nice, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, and we can grab that over. Okay, scale it one last time, -x. And voila. Now we have effectively merged all of those guys into one, UV-wise at least. So if we press all, we only have a couple of different things. We have the planks, wooden planks right here, which will become more handy later on. We have our windows, we have the roof, and we have our chimney. I can adjust this chimney now. I don't know why I unwrapped the chimney. I thought I was doing wood first, but I mean, I guess we're going to be unwrapping everything in this episode, so we may as well just do these. We can grab these these like so, and just actually let's put them right in the middle. Now normally, if you're baking normals or ambient occlusion or baking technically anything inside this engine, you do not want what I'm doing right here. You do not want overlapping textures or overlapping UVs. But I'm not a huge, it's not a huge deal to me, so I am fine with it. Okay, I don't know why I always constantly save. I guess it's a good habit, right? Okay, so now let's keep doing this wood area, part of the roof, I guess. Now these ones here, I guess we'll go like, yeah, we need to go like this. These faces here are just going to be part of the plank that we've been doing for these guys here, that we will do, I guess, in the texturing episode. So we can mark seam. Oops, mark seam. What do I do? What does Control D do? I don't know what I'm doing. Stop it. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I press the wrong buttons and then my hands get all weird because I don't know what buttons I'm pressing. Okay, and we can also grab all these inside faces, which there shouldn't be too many of. Yeah, we can go unwrap. We can Control L, scale X -1. Oops, scale Y -1 is what I meant to do. Grab Y. These ones don't have to be perfect. We can grab these, press all. And these ones are going to be a different, or no, scale Y -1. These ones are actually going to be the same texture, I think. So we can do that, and that doesn't have to be too perfect, so don't worry about that. Okay, so now let's grab these faces here and unwrap those. And for simplicity's sake, I'm going to make those just a little bit cleaner by just unwrapping them, and then you can grab that and press W and align Y. Align Y. Or I prefer align auto in most cases because it'll align it actually straight. And we can grab these like so. And these are just going to be more plank textures, so we can rotate that 90. And just put those right there. It's going to be the same beam texture. And we can unwrap those guys there. And grab that on the y-axis. That can actually we'll make that different. We'll make those two different ones that look a little bit better. Rotate 90. Okay, and now we just have to do these guys for the wood, and then painted wall, cobblestone, and then we'll be done UV unwrapping. So we can unwrap those, and I like those the way they are. They're nice and good, and we'll just put those. We don't want to scale anything just yet, so I guess we'll grab those over and then move these a little bit. And we will have overlapping faces, but we're not actually doing anything here just yet. So yeah, now we can start with the cobblestone. What I'm going to do is grab those two faces, project from view, check from view, and we will have to scale some of these things up/down. They do act a little weird sometimes. Now we can grab these faces from view. Object from view. Or no. No. Okay, so that's the only cobble side faces then. That one. And that one. So we can grab these and go. And that is the same size as this one. Just depending on how close you are, it'll vary in size. So we can go like that. So these are actually the cobblestone. That's what the cobblestone will be made out of. So we can put that right over there. The painted wall will be this, 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 and this. So we can deselect these ones here. Object from view. I'll get most of it. Object from view. However, I don't want these to take up so much space. And since these two top ones are the same size, I can go ahead and mirror that like so. And that is actually going to be the painted, as well as this. So we can go ahead and make these the same size. And then get them in the right area. And voila. And that's going to be the size of the painted one. The plaster wall, or whatever you want to call it. I like to say painted just because it makes sense to me. Okay, so now what we're going to do for simplicity's sake is we're going to add a couple of materials and assign some stuff here, just so it becomes easier while texturing. We are also not going to forget about the door. That is important. Doors are important. I think if we hide everything we've got there, I do not think we're missing anything. Well, I could be wrong. What's this? No. Got those now. This should be good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is assign some cobblestone textures. And the cobblestone textures are going to be these ones. It's going to be a dark gray, shadeless, just for the time being. Assign. There's going to be a painted wall, which is going to be a yellowish white, or a creamy white, I guess, which is going to be these faces. There's going to be a brown, which is going to be the roof. Which is a little tricky to select. Assign that. And it's also going to be all of these faces here. There we go. As well as the windows and door. And voila. So that you can kind of see is what the house is going to look like. We want to make that shadeless. So that's going to be kind of the color scheme, and just adding this little detail, especially making it shadeless, we can go ahead and bake something, and it'll give us a nice kind of color reference to go off of. Okay, so now that we have this is a very good start to start texturing with, although I want to make these tutorials short and sweet so I can upload them in parts so they upload faster, because for some reason if I have a 20-minute video it takes an hour to upload. If I have an hour-long video it takes 3 days to upload. It's really weird. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you want to see in the future, and yeah, leave a comment. See you later. Bye-bye.